Welcome to episode 337 of the Postal Hub podcast. I'm Ian Kerr. Joining me in a moment is Myrthe Rosema. She's founder of the non-profit delivery startup Scootbezorgd. Joining me on the line is Myrthe Rosema. She's the founder of Scootbezorgd. Myrthe, I've already mispronounced the company. Could you just tell everybody how it's actually pronounced?
It's pronounced Scootbezorgd. It's like Scoot delivered.
So tell us a bit about the company. How does it work? What kind of riders do you have?
Well, we are a social and inclusive delivery service, and our drivers are people on mobility scooters. And we are actually quite similar to bicycle couriers within like one city, but where you have to be super fit to ride a cargo bike, you don't have to be for a mobility scooter.
So tell us, where are you operating at the moment?
We are located in the Dutch city of Arnhem.
And so you're just operating in Arnhem right now. And how did you come up with the idea to get people involved on mobility scooters to do deliveries?
Well, it started a couple of years ago. Me and my co-founder, Frauke Engel, we both have a designer background. That's how we know each other. And a while ago, there was a period that my mom had a surgery, and there was a very large mobility walker standing in the house with big armrests because she needed that support, and she hated the thing. It was ugly, it was cold, medical, all the stigma around it that she had to use it because she couldn't do something anymore. So that got me thinking back then as a designer, what can we do to change how we view mobility aids? Can we do something else with them? How we view them or how we use them, how we look at them. And me and Frauke, we had a brainstorm about this subject. And then we came up with the idea of doing deliveries with people on a mobility scooter. And we thought that was so logical, that idea, that we were very surprised to hear that not really anybody else was already doing that. So that's how we got the idea, and we loved it because you place people in a very functional, important, and social role in the heart of the city, visible.
We don't usually perceive people who have mobility issues or people who need to use mobility scooters as being part of the delivery world. We don't really see them, I suppose. The stereotype of last mile delivery people is not someone who has a mobility issue, but it's usually, say, like you said earlier, someone who's in good shape, who rides a courier bike, or someone who's hopping in and out of a delivery van. So this is definitely a different take on things. You mentioned that people are using mobility scooters. Do they use their own mobility scooter under this initiative, or are they provided with their own customised scooter that has its own, it's set up as a delivery scooter effectively with whether it's pannier bags or a cargo box or things like that?
We have our own mobility scooters, and we do that to ensure a certain range and speed for our service. So we can cover the whole city and make sure everybody is there on time and also gets back here in our hub safe without stranding somewhere. Because the batteries, these things vary a lot. Some can go 20 kilometers, some can go 70. And also insurance-wise, it's important for us to have our own. And most of our deliverers have their own mobility scooter, but not everybody. So it's not something that we select people on. We actually have like a certain profile, but we find that we provide a solution for a lot of people who have like a slight mobility impairment or some mental challenges, because it's quite easy to drive around in a mobility scooter. That's why it's such an accessible means of transport. So we have some people who are retired and like to ride around and be active in some way. And we also have people for whom this is really a new kind of job opportunity they could never have had anywhere else, to be a delivery driver.
What kind of deliveries are you doing then? Are you doing deliveries to the home of, say, e-commerce purchases? Or are you doing deliveries to businesses or business to business kind of deliveries? Can you give us an idea of some of the deliveries that you're doing?
Well, right now we're most focused on business to business and business to consumer, and we're actually doing quite a lot of mail. We have some parcels, but most of what we do now are like mailbox deliveries where we empty their mailbox and deliver it to companies and take out their outgoing mail, and then we spread that in our area. We also have several rush deliveries, same day rush, next day rush for parcels and mail.
I think this is particularly interesting about it's often overlooked when we're talking about delivery, in our conferences and things like that. We're talking about moving millions of parcels from an e-commerce fulfillment center to the customer's doorstep or into a parcel locker or whatever it might be. And we often don't talk about the business of collecting businesses' mail and delivering it to their doorstep, or collecting it from a post office box or from a suite address or something like that. Or I guess a lot of the people who are listening to this will say, well, this is a good social innovation. What about I was going to say the dollars and cents. I suppose it's euros, really. What about the money side of things? Are the drivers paid? Are they paid delivery drivers? Riders? What's the right term? Couriers?
Couriers, drivers, are not really riders, but they are paid. Some are volunteers, and they just like to help us out, drive around, and do that. Some others are coming to us from different organizations, different trajects, if you will, to experience other kinds of jobs or because they can't really fit in the regular job market. So some of our couriers have a kind of government allowance, but still have to work a couple of hours. And some work previously at these kinds of sheltered workshops when they sat mostly indoors, kind of closed off in these social work companies. We're looking for other places to work. We are actually not very actively recruiting. They are always finding us. So we get applications weekly from several cities, and we actually have a waiting list. So there are a lot of people who like to become a mobility scooter driver, courier. We are growing our services so we can give more people a nice workplace.
And tell us a bit about the technology that the couriers are using. Are they? I imagine, are they scanning parcels when they're delivering them, or are they using any handheld technology, or is it mostly, as you said before, is it mostly just delivering, a business's mail and things like that? So a scan isn't required.
Scanning equipment isn't necessary for us right now, and maybe that will change in the future. But we use whatever is most straightforward and easy for our drivers. Right now, we use an app so they can just work through all the stops. It's very clear. It's like 1 to 10 or 30, and they can navigate to them.
Since they're all on mobility scooters, I imagine that the delivery area is fairly flat. You're not sending people up steep hills to deliver or things like that. Is a fairly flat delivery area. It's easy for them to traverse in the mobility scooters.
Well, the Netherlands is quite flat, so I guess we have that advantage. But Arnhem is, for a Dutch city, quite covered in some hills. So we do have some. That's not really a challenge, but we have some kind of steep hills. For Dutch measures, steep, right? Not.
It's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? Yeah.
It's yeah. So, but as I said, we have our own mobility scooters with good lithium batteries. They can go for like 60 or 70 kilometers. They have quite some power, like better than a regular mobility scooter. We have cargo boxes in the front and in the back, or baskets for mail. So we can really reach any door. We can go anywhere. And mobility scooters have one big advantage. We can just go on the sidewalk We can go inside the mall. The city center that's normally closed off for cars or even cargo bikes have to step off. We can go anywhere.
It opens up a whole world of accessibility, doesn't it? Just being able to get around,
Yes.
especially in those low emission centres or the tight, winding alleyways of an old European city. Let's take a look forward then. What's in the future? Can you see doing things like e-commerce returns or partnering with other companies? Are there any sort of projects that you can share with us that are coming in the future?
Yes, well, we have only been operational for a couple of months now. So what's next is to keep it up and keep building our team to make a lot of other mobility scooter drivers very happy, because they're always very excited to go on their way. And also, as a company, make more connections. We are non-profit actually. Make more connections with partners doing e-commerce returns, more parcels. I said we are doing quite a lot of mail at the moment, but we would like to do more parcels in the upcoming couple of months.
You mentioned that you're operating in Arnhem right now. Are there any plans to expand beyond that into other parts of the Netherlands?
And not very concrete plans yet, but it is our goal to prove in Arnhem that we have a viable business, that we make impact, that we can have a reliable service, or a good service, and to expand to other cities.
And if people want to find out more about what you're doing there, I'm going to try and pronounce the company's name, everybody. Here we go. Scootbezorgd. I'll get there in the end. If people want to find out more about what you're doing, is there a website people can visit, or can they connect with you on LinkedIn? What should people do?
We have a website called scootbezorgd.nl. We have an Instagram page. We have a Facebook page. You can connect on my LinkedIn. My name is Myrthe Rosema. And
I'll put a link to all of that on thepostalhub.com. So if you go to the episode page, and you'll find the links to the website and more there on thepostalhub.com. Myrthe Rosema, founder at Scootbezorgd, thank you very much for joining us on the Postal Hub podcast today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Coming soon on the Postal Hub podcast, trains, postal regulation, and lots of other stuff, but all at the same time, in separate episodes, of course. So don't miss any of these separate episodes. Subscribe to the podcast in a podcast platform such as, including and not limited to, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever takes your fancy. Subscribe to the email newsletter as well. Go to thepostalhub.com and follow the links there. You can follow me and the Postal Hub on LinkedIn. What a joy that is. What else? I'm on Twitter. I don't know why. It's not called Twitter anymore. I question its existence. Anyway, enough of that. If you want to email me, my email address is ian@thepostalhub.com. I'm Ian Kerr. Thanks for listening in, and I look forward to your company next time on the Postal Hub podcast.